Hi, fourth graders. Today we're moving on to 10-3, dividing 2-digit by 1-digit numbers. Make sure that you jot down the title on your notes as well as today's date. Our learning goal for today says, I can divide 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers using the standard algorithm and properties of division. You're going to find as we go through this lesson that it's very similar to what you've already learned, and for some of you it might feel like a review. That's okay. Doing problems like this over and over will help you get stronger. And for those of you who don't feel like this is review yet, that's okay too. Long division is a complex skill and it takes a lot of practice to get good at it. And that's what we're going to be doing this week. As you recall from last week and my silly dance, we have a particular algorithm that helps us be able to do long division problems. So I can record that on the side of my paper to help. You should recall that the D means divide. The M means multiply. The S means subtract. The B means bring down. And the R is repeat or remainder. Let's use that algorithm to help us solve 2-digit by 1-digit problems. To begin, we're going to solve the problem 85 divided by 5. I first have to think, how many times does the 5 in my divisor fit into the 8 in my dividend? Well, 5 fits into 8 one time. Remember, sometimes the divisor does not fit into the first digit of the dividend, and you have to look at the next digit over as well. Okay, so I've done my divide step. Now I'm on to the multiply step. 1 times 5 is 5. I record that answer underneath the first digit that I was dividing by. So I move on to my subtract step. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now I'm going to bring down the other 5. And that brings me to the final step, which is repeat or remainder. 35 is not a reasonable remainder because I can still take groups of 5 out of 35. So in this instance, I'm going to repeat. So I go back up to the top and I look at my divisor. How many times does 5 fit into 35? Well, I know that 5 fits into 35 7 times. I'm going to multiply. 7 times 5 is 35. Something to be careful of, and you probably have noticed this in previous lessons, is that I'm not doing 17 times 5, I'm just doing the 7 times 5. I've already multiplied the 1 in the number 17, so I'm just focused on the ones place now. So 7 times 5 is 35. I'm going to subtract. 35 minus 35 is 0. I have nothing to bring down, and I have no remainder, so I've solved this problem. 85 divided by 5 is 17. Remember, if you ever have a hard time remembering each of these steps, you can always write it down on your paper before you solve, or you could make yourself a little poster or a little note card, something that you can use as you're doing your work to help remind you of the order. Okay, my next problem is going to be 55 divided by 3. So first I'm going to divide. 3 fits into 5 one time. Then I'm going to multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. Then I'm going to bring down the other 5. And I have 25. 25 is too big for a remainder, so I'm going to repeat my steps. I'm going to go back up to the top and see how many times does 3 fit into 25. It fits in 8 times. I'm going to multiply 8 times 3. That's 24. Next, I'm going to subtract 25 minus 24 is 1. I notice 1 is likely the remainder because I don't have any more steps to repeat, and also because 1 is less than 3. And I know that when I get to this part in my problem, that if what I have remaining is less than the divisor, it represents the remainder. So I have a quotient of 18, remainder 1. My final example for today is going to be 83 divided by 7. So first I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 7 fit into 8? I know that it fits in 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. Then I'm going to subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. Next, I'm going to bring down the 3. And 13 is bigger than 7, so I'm going to repeat my steps. I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 7 fit into 13? It fits in once. 1 times 7 is 7. I'm going to subtract. 13 minus 7 is 6. I have nothing to bring down. 6 is what's left. It's less than 7, so that means it's likely the remainder. So I'm going to record it at the top as remainder 6. If we look back at our quotient, it makes sense. 11 times 7, you know, is 77. And if I add 6 to that, I would have an answer of 83. So don't be afraid to go back and to do the inverse operation or multiply in order to help and see if you did the problem correctly. Checking your work is always a great strategy. So with today's lesson being pretty short and sweet, I want to remind you not to forget about your pathway. I know that the pathway initially was kind of tricky because you were still learning some of the skills and strategies. However, now that we've made it to lesson 10-3, you should be able to move through the beginning, developing, and meeting levels quite easily. And then as always, if you get stuck or you need extra help, please email me. I'm always happy to help you. And last but not least, here is Mr. Grow with your first joke of the week.
Hey, Mrs. Garreau, why did the girl wear her glasses in math class?
Why?
Because they improve division.
Bye, everybody.